What's going on, everybody? Back working today on the 86 Virago 700. We've had some parts come in over the past couple of weeks. I haven't had a chance to mess around with it a whole lot, but we got some parts in, namely the throttle cable and a battery. So that's what we're going to be doing today, is installing the throttle cable, getting the battery filled with acid and charging, and hopefully by the end of the day we'll have this thing running. So let's go ahead and get the battery going first, then we'll start on the throttle cable. Let's go. This is the first time I have ever filled up a battery with acid. Watched a couple YouTube videos and saw how it was done. I think I can do it. I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. However, I've got gloves here. Not the best gloves for this job, but better than nothing. Go ahead and get our safety glasses ready. I do have a thing of baking soda and water just in case I get any on my skin. So let's go ahead and get this thing filled up, get it on the trickle charger, and wait for that to charge. All right, first off, we'll go ahead and take these little plugs out. Throw my glasses on. Thankfully, these are heavily tinted safety glasses to ensure that I cannot see very well. I got old clothes on today, so if you're wondering about my particularly tight jeans, it's because they are old, they've already got holes in them, plus they make me look good. I'm going to go ahead and poke a little hole in this right here to vent. Alright, throw that back on there, vent it a little bit. We will snip off this tip here. Get our little tube on. Hopefully this turns out all right, because ever since I got the battery and saw it was a dry cell, and then I'd have to be dealing with battery acid, I wasn't particularly looking forward to it. I believe this is an overflow / vent. This particularly long tube came with the battery. I think we should be okay. We got our upper, lower level. Don't know if we'll be able to see it that well. Tube is in, tube feels tight. We're going to let this kind of sit a little bit, let the air bubbles get out, and then check it here in about 5 minutes, top her back off, and then we'll throw her on the trickle. I don't think this cell might have come down a little bit, but all the other ones are staying kind of up near the top. I think with filling it so slow, it got a lot of the bubbles out and everything else. All right, so now that that's done, I'm not sweating as much. Take a look at what we're going to be doing today. I've had this off. I think I kind of know how throttle cable routes. We'll get that on, get it routed down to the carb. I got it, like I said, I got a new cable. Come up here. I don't have the 90-degree, not bracket, but the 90-degree casing that was supposed to be on here. So I do have a new throttle cable that's got all of that. So we'll go over here to my pile of goodies. Got new throttle cable. So I went ahead and got a new lever with the brake reservoir, but I was looking at it the other day, and I got to get, in order for the mirror, I've got to get that out of there, which I think I know how. That's not going to be a big priority at the moment. And really, all I would need, if I wanted to reuse the old one, is, well, I was thinking all I really need is the other part of the handlebar bracket, but it looks like that bolt got sheared off as well. So lots of fun, lots of extra work that needs to be done. But see what else we got we can throw on today. I did get, there went my phone. Did get a new battery box to throw in as well to replace this kind of piece of junk. Don't mind that. I don't think that was stock, but that's what we're working with at the moment. Yank that battery box out, throw in the new one, put the new battery in, route the cable. Maybe we can hear this thing fire up today. I'm not too worried about the tank at the moment and it being needed cleaned out, as well as the carbs. That's going to be a later date. I'm really just mostly want to get it to where we can get it to run. Let's check on the battery again, get that on the charger so that whenever we are ready, we can throw that battery in, hook it up, maybe we can hear this thing run. All right, taking a look at our battery. The first cell needs some, actually all the cells need topped off. So let's go ahead and top it off, put the plugs in, and then get it on the charger. So it looks like they all need topped off a little bit, which kind of concerns me because I don't have a whole lot of acid left. I think you can top off with distilled water and be okay, just as long as, I think the important thing is that all of the plates are submerged. All of them are at the upper level. That one's a little slightly above, which I think is okay. But all the rest of them are at the upper level. I got that one sucked, that first cell sucked back down to the upper level. So I think we are good. So battery is full. It's still warm. Let's check it on the meter and see what we got. And then I'll throw the plugs in. We'll throw it on the trickle charger. Let's take a look here and see what we've got. We have 12.23. So that worked. So let's go ahead and get the plugs back in and get it on the charger. I'm going to go ahead and leave the vent tube on there just in case. I think we should be okay. But if this thing happens to all of a sudden gurgle over, at least it'll be going into the container there. All right, we are charging. So let's get the throttle cable onto the bike and see if we can get this thing going. Oh, it's definitely going to be a great day when I figure out this whole YouTube and where to set the camera up thing and learn how to speak. But today just isn't going to be one of them days because I still have no clue what I'm doing when it comes to that. All right, so we got our throttle cable. In the book, it says to disconnect the cable, tie it to the new cable with a string, then slowly pull it through so that you have the routing right. Okay, so it says remove the tank, which I'm not going to do. Remove the air box. But I am not sure this is routed correctly as it is anyway, because I have got mice running all over this place. But this is really the only bracket I see, so go ahead and get the old cable off. Hey, there it is. Now I'm not quite sure on the adjustment and what I need to do there. So this might be a little bit of trial and error to get it right. Ooh, I got a sticker. Motion Pro. It's got to go through there. I thought there was supposed to be a nut on the end, but maybe that just sits in there. So we go through here, comes down here, it'll go up there, pop it in here. That I assume goes in there, and boom. We have throttlage. Let's get this all apart. We'll get it routed in there. I am going to take this off and do a little bit of scrubbing on it to get that clean because this is upside down. I know. I had it off yesterday looking at it. Get this off. I'm going to get it cleaned a little bit in there so that these are a little more free moving. And let's get the throttle routed up in there. See if we can't get this thing fired up. But probably the most important thing I have to do before I do anything, slap this sticker on. Motion Pro. I've got 67 flathead screwdrivers and only about 2 Phillips heads. Makes no sense whatsoever. Now what is this connected to? Getting into all this wiring. Ugh. So I found there is a bunch of wiring that looks like it was hacked into, so that's going to be amazing if I ever got to troubleshoot wiring, which I'm sure I won't. Put those over there so I lose them. Inside of here, it's kind of gunky, so I'm going to clean a little bit. Now I do not have any electrical contact cleaner, but I'm hoping just scrubbing with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, cleaning some of this gunk, maybe spray some of this out a little bit, will kind of loosen up some of these switches and contacts. That's the hope anyway, so I'm sure it will not work out that way. And like I said earlier, one thing I am not entirely sure of is the best way of installing the throttle and then adjusting it. I've never adjusted before, but seeing as how you can really only adjust on one end on these, shouldn't be that big of a deal, right? But since this is an 86, it's only got the single throttle cable. Some of the later models had the push-pull, so this one really only works one way. So let's get some of this cleaned out a little bit, then we'll throw this back on. Well, that doesn't even, we'll get this thrown back on, see what adjustments we can make, and then see if we can get this thing running. Handle, cable, so forth. So this is actually my first time ever doing anything like this, which was the whole point of having a project bike in the first place. You know, I'm sure I'll make mistakes, and you guys are more than welcome to leave me a comment letting me know my mistakes. The only way you learn, right? So I'm not scared of making mistakes. What I'm mostly scared of is not trying, having to rely on someone else and then not being a good example for my boys. So yeah, if you guys have any recommendations, anything to look for, any positive criticism, definitely let me know. This isn't going on too well. All right, let me take a minute, try to get this back together.
Dad, can we help you?
Hit a couple roadblocks along the way, which is fine. It'll give me something to do a little off camera. I was able to get the throttle on. However, I'm not having any snapback. It seems to be, so this is plastic inside here, and it's binding up somehow. I'm not quite sure why, but I don't have the snapback. Hey, Rube, shop dog. And also, as you can see right here, I've kind of got my battery just kind of hanging out here for now till I can get this out. I was going to go ahead and replace that with the new battery holder, but then I realized I don't have any hardware to even put it in, so I'm not going to worry about it right now. But there's that mouse. I got a mouse in here. The main goal of today's video was just to get it running, so I had not started it up yet. More than likely, I flooded the carb whenever I was messing with the throttle anyway. Got the keys in. All right, we do have lights. All right, let's see if this thing will start up. May just be bad fuel as well. Speeding up like it wants to. What does this do? Is that my choke? Carbs may be so clogged up that... All right, didn't want to, but I do want to hear it run, especially with the new throttle cable on. All right, not out of the woods yet. Let me throw the battery back on the charger for a little bit longer and get full. Ooh, do I have a tail light? I got a tail light. Yeah. But let's throw the battery back on the charger a little bit longer and get it fully charged before we try again. So I think what I'm going to do, instead of just continuing to crank on this and risk burning up my starter, I think that I'm actually just going to go ahead and remove the tank, remove the carbs, clean both of those out, get some fresh fuel flowing through the system, check spark, all that, and then we'll try it again. I really wanted to get this thing running today, but I just don't think it's in the cards, and I don't want to force it if I don't have to. This will also give me an opportunity to maybe play around with the throttle a little bit more, get that straightened out, get a clutch lever on here, make sure that's working all right, and then go from there. I think that'd be the next best thing to do. We'll go ahead and save that for the next video. I'm going to do a little bit of work off camera to get this ready for the next video. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, you know what to do. If you have any advice for things I can look for in this 1986 Yamaha Virago, definitely let me know. And let's see if we can get it running next time. But until next time, thank you very much for watching and have a good night.